Hey everyone, I'm Mike Settele, the founder of Settele Tutoring, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts on SAT and ACT testing requirements. This is especially relevant because Yale University just announced that they are going to start requiring standardized test scores from their applicants. Now for most people that's going to mean submitting SAT or ACT scores, but Yale did say that you can use AP or IB exams as well. But regardless, everyone is going to have to submit some sort of standardized test. And I do think that more and more schools will start to do this, especially those top, most competitive schools. Is this good? Is this bad? Here is my argument, and I will warn you, it is not based on data and statistics. It is based on just gut feelings and reactions. So the way I think of it is, let's say we had a hypothetical college application that was much more simplified, just two parts. Part one, everyone submits. It's your transcript. It's got your classes, your grades, your overall GPA. Colleges are looking at this and evaluating you based on your excellence, consistency, and improvement. It's giving a long view of your high school career. It's not perfect, but everyone's got one, and it's a pretty good way to get that big picture view. Part two of the application, though, is a choice that students will have. You can pick one and only one of these options. Option A is a standardized test, like the SAT or ACT. They test universal skills like reading comprehension, grammar, algebra. They have lots of resources that are available. You can take the test multiple times, but yes, it does boil you down to a simple score, maybe just one or two numbers. So that is option A. If you don't like that option, you can do option B. A personal essay, very similar to what is available on the Common application right now. You have 650 words, you can talk about any topic you like, maybe we suggest a few prompts for you, but you only get the one submission. So which one are you picking? Gut reaction, which one feels more like you? Unsurprisingly, I am picking the standardized test. And yes, it is because partly now I am a standardized test tutor. I tutor for the SAT, but even me back when I was 17 years old applying to colleges would have picked the test every single time. Give me a clear, defined goal. Give me a practice book with some resources. I will schedule, I will plan, I will study, and on test day, I will perform under pressure. That is where my skills lie. Some people hate tests. We don't all have to be good at the same things. That's okay. Let those people write the essay. Personally, the essay terrifies me, probably in the same way that those essay people are terrified by a single score determining their entire future. They might get nervous on test day. The idea of 650 words being all I have to explain to you who I am, that thought terrifies me, especially at 17 years old when I wouldn't have known where to start. I barely knew who I was at 17 or what I wanted. So expressing myself in that way would have been terrifying. I would not have had the confidence to do it, but I definitely admire people who can do it. And that's the thing. Colleges need both kinds of people. We need the planners who can schedule and study and grind it out. We also need the people who can express themselves and have bigger picture ideas. And I think a college application needs to include both. So this is a simplified version, but for the more complicated version right now, should SAT or ACT scores be required? Well, honestly, I think maybe requiring them is a bit much, but I do get that at top schools, that might be the best way to do it. You need some sort of filter. When they didn't have scores for a lot of kids, they were letting people in who maybe couldn't meet the demands of the academics at that school. So I've seen this. If you are not getting, let's say, a 600 in reading or a 600 in math on your SAT, you are not going to be able to handle Yale University, at least not at that point. So maybe you can improve and study and get better over time, but if you're 17 years old and you're not getting those scores, you're just basically going to get set up for failure if you get admitted to a college that has those intense academics. So I do think that at the top colleges, this is the way it's going to go. They're going to start requiring it as a way to filter people out. But I think for most colleges, you're still going to have test optional. And maybe should the essay be optional as well? Should people like me not have to submit an essay if we're terrified by it? I don't think so. But I do think maybe letting the students have more control over the application process is a good idea. Right now, it's so many different parts. You've got the transcript, you've got the scores, you've got the essay, extracurricular resume, you've got your teacher recommendations. Maybe let the students rank those things and say to the college, hey, look at my essay first. I think that that says who I am the best. Or maybe, hey, I was sick in 10th grade. I did terribly in all my classes. Make sure you look at my scores before you look at my transcript. And for me, I was a Boy Scout when I was in high school, and it was a really big part of my life. I learned a lot from it. I became a better person. I develop leadership skills. So maybe I would have said, hey, look at my resume pretty early in the process because that is a big piece of who I am. The point is we should give students as many opportunities to demonstrate their success and their excellence as possible. And that gets to the last piece here, test blind admissions. This mostly applies to where I live in California. The UC system, the University of California system, the Cal State system, they are test blind, which means that you cannot put your SAT or ACT scores on your application. Even if you have a perfect score, that is not going to help you in admissions. And I think this is a mistake. I think it's a mistake in terms of getting a diverse student body, but I also think it's morally wrong to tell a student at that age that their method of demonstrating excellence is not valid or somehow corrupted. No part of the application is perfect, so we should give students multiple ways to show off who they are. And to say that you will not look at any scores to completely cut off that path that many students use in their day-to-day high school life to succeed, I think that that's wrong. Testing is such a big part of high school. So to say that somehow it's bad and if you are good at that, you should be able to show that off, that seems wrong to me. But definitely, I'm curious what you think. Put it in the comments. But more specifically, what do you think of a simplified application like this? If you had to face this choice of a standardized test or a personal essay, what would you choose? In the real world, if you are choosing option A, just remember that my website, my YouTube channel have lots of free resources that you can use to improve your scores on the test. So make sure that you subscribe and follow and visit my site. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave your comments and questions. And remember, when it comes to your scores, don't settle for less. Settele for more.